So, I've been here at the Xbox launch event, been showcasing the game to a ton of different press, and actually there are going to be fans coming in very, very shortly. And after that, people are going to actually buy the Xbox One and get to play Forza Motorsport 5, which, as a creator, that's kind of the moment of truth, but it's also the most exciting bit because people are getting their real hands on your game and your experience. So today, I've been telling people about the game, about the physics, things we're doing on the Xbox One with suspension and with the tires, really incredible physics, but with the assists, anyone can drive it. Pro driver, turn the assists off. Little kid, turn the assists on, have a great time. And that to me is elegant design. It fits you for who you are. We don't try and change you into some, be like this, be like that. No, it's a game that brings people together. Been talking about the AI, Drivatar, something I've covered at E3, I think you and I talked about in the past. That's got to be seen to be believed. People are like, oh, is it marketing, is it a gimmick? And the press have already seen now, it isn't. You drive it, it really doesn't drive like any other racing game. They really race you. So I'm kind of done talking about that. I'll answer questions, but it's like, I feel like people are best just driving it, and it shows itself off, right? Game looks great, great graphics, and there's great multiplayer as well. We've been playing multiplayer against the press back at the studio, which is kind of fun. 16 players, dedicated servers, it's a good time. So we were in development during E3, so we took, I think, 5 cars to E3, but we already had a lot of cars in development at the time. In many ways, you think about DLC, we do 10 cars a month. That's kind of our rate. We had to build, basically, we started this game 3 years ago. We had to build everything from scratch. And 10 cars a month is, when cars take 6 months to build each, it's hard to build. So the game's, it's the biggest racing launch game that's ever been built. We have over 200 cars, we have 14 environments. It's bigger than Forza Motorsport 2 even, and that was a year and a half after launch. So at this point, man, from E3, we got a lot more going on in the physics than we did at E3. The suspension model's fully in. It wasn't in then. It's fully in now because it's done, right? Same with the tires. The haptics and the triggers are much more refined. I think people have been responding really well to that, which is cool. The game looks fantastic. We have obviously a lot more tracks. I think at E3 we had Prague. Since then, people have been driving Bathurst, and they've been driving Yas Marina, and Spa, of course, in a F1 car like the Lotus E21. There's a lot of cool shit to do. Well, it's funny when people say the car count is down, because I look at it as the car count is up, because we built everything from scratch, and I think our fans would have been super disappointed if we just ported over last-gen stuff. That's a cop-out. So we had to build stuff from scratch this generation to take advantage of what our vision is for next-generation content. Now, you may or may not value Forza Vista and the fact that every car can have its door open, but because of Forza Vista, the cockpit is immersive in ways it's never been before. Last generation, there are some companies that got the data, same data we had, that a small percentage of the overall time spent in racing games was played in cockpit view. So they were cut in cockpit view. As a designer, I saw it as a challenge, because our data also showed that almost everybody, the moment they got in a new car, they went to cockpit view. But then they would change out to drive in a different view. So what that told me is they want cockpit view, but it's not serving them. So by having the reflection in the glass, having better light coming through, we modeled the light, the lenses after more of a GoPro-style camera to make it more immersive, like people are used to seeing in YouTube videos. We tilted the camera down and a little bit down. We moved it up. We play tested and play tested and play tested to make the cockpit more visible. Well, all of that was made possible, all that movement, by the investment we did to make a next-gen car, to make Forza Vista, to make everything openable and fully realized. It's not about texture resolution anymore. It's not about polygons. It's about the materials and the light. So that now in the beta, right, we've got 3,500 people playing, and the amount of people playing in cockpit view dramatically up. So this is the result of that. In the tracks, the versions of Spa and Silverstone, the versions, these tracks had to be either new or they're recaptured entirely. And they're now accurate to this sub-centimeter level because of the laser rig. They've got weeds growing up through the tires. This is next gen. They've got a history of racing. It looks like the 23rd hour of a 24-hour race. The history of cars going into the wall. It's those details that make it feel next gen. It's not just about being 1080p 60, it's what do you do with with that 1080p resolution to bring it to life. So I believe our fans demand next-gen content from us. So we started building 3 years ago. This product's basically, you know, before Forza 4 launched, we had Forza 5, Forza 4, and Forza Horizon all in development at the same time. The team is huge because we accept no compromise. So what is this game? It's 200 cars. At the launch, no racing game has ever been this big at the launch of a console. So I don't see it as cutting back, because everything we're going to build from now on for DLC, it's new. We got to build it all. The LaFerrari pack, which launches in a couple days, you know, that car wasn't even drivable a couple days ago. We can now, on demand, just get things done, get them QA'd, and get them into our fans' hands. So PDLC is a great opportunity for us to give people new things, but you don't need it if you don't want it. I mean, a 200-car game, and also 14 environments. We had 12 environments in Forza Motorsport 2, and that was a year and a half after the launch. We had lost environments from Forza Motorsport 1. We had to build them all from scratch. That's not losing, that's actually gaining. Now, do I think we're going to add more stuff this generation? Absolutely. Forza 2, Forza 3, Forza 4, the game got bigger. But that doesn't diminish the accomplishment of Forza 2 or Forza 3. So I think it all depends on what you're looking for. If you don't want to go to this generation yet, don't do it. That's okay. But if you want to go to this generation, don't you want it to be next generation? Physics that aren't possible on last generation stuff? Visuals that aren't possible on last generation hardware? Of course you do. So that's what we've really stressed as a team. So we're over capturing how many tracks we can build. Really, tracks, the quickest track we had in Forza 5 to build took 9 months. Bigger tracks, longer tracks, more complex tracks take even more time. I don't want capturing to ever get in the way, so we're now capturing tracks all over the world. We don't have anywhere near the capacity, even with 400 people working on it, to build them at next-gen quality yet. As we start coming online, we're going to start releasing tracks as expansions and the like. Which tracks and when that is, it's not only that I can't tell you, I don't know, because the tracks now take so much longer to build, and we don't want to rush things out. So when they're ready, we'll release them. Drivatars can learn a lot of things. It's not yet proven whether they can learn how to drift or not. The system is, we don't tell it how to do things, it learns things. Drifting is incredibly complex behavior. So it is currently observing drifting, we know. We haven't seen them do what look like purposeful drifts so far. What we've seen them do is they've made mistakes and they'll kind of kick the back end out. But like that big extended 45 degrees of yaw drift, I haven't seen them do it yet, and we have had people doing it. Maybe just the complexity of the behavior, it may learn it. We really don't know yet.